as I finished yesterday, I said if the things, or the teaching before actually, if the things that we normally see do not exist, what exists? Ourself as Vajrayogini in Vajrayogini's pure world. So we're going to train imagining we already have these realizations. This is called generation stage. The generation, as we understood in the empowerment, do you remember we generated the inner yogini? Generated means mentally created, or we can say imagined. And we're now understanding clearly imagination that is correct, coming from wisdom and concentration, isn't fantasy. In fact, it's more the truth than anything we're currently experiencing. So we think what we're experiencing at the moment is the truth, and that when we come to quick path and we briefly think, okay, into emptiness, out I pop as Vajrayogini, very nice, etc. And then we're like, okay, we get to the dedication prayers, and we're like, okay, coffee for me. And we think, that's the end of that. Now then, back to reality. Actually, it's the other way round. Everything for our gross and subtle minds is mistaken appearance. As Geshe says at the beginning, about, I don't know, maybe the 5th or 6th page of how to understand the mind. And he says, therefore, they cannot be the real meaning of our life, the experiences of our gross and subtle minds. And then he asks a question, what is the real meaning of our human life? And then he introduces the section on the very subtle mind. Realizing our clear light mind, which is the main practice of Vajrayogini and Heruka practice, is the real meaning of our life. So, first of all, we learn these experiences in our imagination. Through imagining becoming ourself, you know, when we say self-generation, our self means ourself, I. Self-generation means I. We generate ourself as a newly arisen Vajrayogini in Vajrayogini's pure land. This is called self-generation. And we meditate on that newly created world within emptiness. I am Vajrayogini. Within Kyajur Pure Land, I arise as Vajrayogini, surrounded by heroes and heroines, and we hold that self-generation. The object of self-generation is ourself, imagined as Vajrayogini. The imagined deity and the imagined pure world is the object of self-generation meditation. We hold it 1 second, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 60 seconds. What a victory! 60 seconds without thinking, oh, my back hurts. So Vajrayogini's back doesn't hurt. You know, Geshe says in Tantric Grounds and Paths, near the very beginning, he says, Vajrayogini doesn't have any problems. She doesn't have any financial worries. She doesn't have any fears and anxieties. So if we want to solve our human problems, we need to become Vajrayogini ourselves. We need to become a completely pure being, where our world, our body, our mind, everything is the nature of blissful, omniscient wisdom, clear light.